Hello, my name's Robert Firth. I was an airline pilot for 42 years. I flew for 3 years in Vietnam. I've been around the world a few times and I've seen the worst side of human nature and I've seen some of the best. I don't play golf or tennis, and fishing bores me. So what to do? Some years ago I began writing books. Writing for me fills in the time and it's an enjoyable and productive endeavor. I want to take a few minutes of your time today, and I want to tell you about my book, The Enemy Within. This book will disturb you like nothing you have ever experienced. It will likely shake everything you thought you knew about America and Western civilization. When I wrote this book, my purpose was to try to understand what was going wrong in America. I lived in Europe for a long time. I could see the same socialist helplessness that eroded and is destroying their countries and their cultures. I could see it happening here. What I saw was and is the destruction of our country by the forces of the left using our money to pander for power and for votes and for support. What this book is going to tell you exactly is how and why we are collapsing and perhaps, hopefully, what we can do about it. The left stifles our country under the massive weight of millions of regulations, enforced by hundreds of far-left regulatory bodies, all desperately trying to stamp out our individual and economic freedoms. This is exactly how the Lilliputians tied Gulliver to the ground, one rope at a time. We are like the proverbial frog. He knows the water's getting hot, but he only understands when it's too late. He's being boiled alive. The enormity of the crimes committed by Carter, Obama, Barney Frank, and Chris Dodd, acting in cahoots with Franklin Raines and Fannie Mae, are truly of a magnitude as to be incomprehensible. If you're not sure about this, just ask yourself one simple question. What do you think would have happened if there never, ever was such a thing as a subprime mortgage? One thing I can tell you, you can take it to the bank. Under the traditional home loan program, 5 million mortgages would not have defaulted. Now, you know where to pin the tail, squarely on the donkey. The destruction and the trampling of our Constitution under Wilson and Roosevelt, and indeed by all the socialist big government Democrats for the last 100 years, has brought us to a crucial decision-making point in our history. In aviation, we call this the point of no return. Let that phrase sink in just for a moment. Let me read you a few of my readers' comments. Here's one from a Dr. William Brand. He said, "The enemy within accurately describes the mindset of the far left and their fellow travelers. Power and control is their end game. Before reading this book, I was a die-hard Democrat, and so was my dad. Not anymore. The enemy within opened my eyes, and I recommend this to any who might still believe in the empty and destructive goals of socialism." There's another one from Bill Fox in Miami, Florida. "The enemy tells the reader with no possibility of error how the socialists, progressives, and liberals have perverted American and European politics. To see the face of evil, this is a must-read. Good job, Robert." Here's one from Jane McCurdy in Ireland. She says, "Captain Firth knows what he's talking about. The Enemy Within is one of the most important books in the century. I had no idea how reprehensible Liv's work until I read this book. My fellow countrymen, America has many problems. I think we can fix some of them. Probably there's some we can't. The Enemy Within details what has happened to our country and hopefully explains why and who is responsible. This book will show you step by bloody step exactly how these miserable creatures have crippled our lovely, free, and once great country. I'm going to show you how they originated, hatched, and engineered their nefarious plots to bring us down and themselves up. We will show you with no chance of the guilty escaping our scrutiny who these power-mad politicians are and how and why they did what they have done. Once you've read and once you've comprehended the contents of this book, I guarantee that your view of liberals, progressives, Democrats, socialists, communists, and all their fellow travelers will never, ever again be the same. I thank you for your time, and for God's sake, as well as for all of us. Please get this book and urge your friends to read it. America can be saved, but only if we act together and understand who and what the enemy really is. Remember the logo of the Fabian Society, the vicious wolf hiding in the sheep's clothing. This points out exactly who the enemy is. Thank you. You can find my books at www.